take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness.
Hey, Janelle. Hey guys, how's it going? She says, oh, what's going on, guys? Janelle is over it. She is so ready to give birth. It's not even funny. She is so ready to give birth. And let me just tell you something. Orb Attraction has sent all kinds of stuff for you, Janelle, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We're having a shower Sunday, a baby shower, and it's like, is she going to be able to make it? Is she going to be able to make it to the baby shower?
No.
But guys, welcome in. Welcome in. We're going to be talking about the morning star. The morning star. What is the morning star? Venus. Jody hasn't been feeling good. He has not been feeling good. Neither is Janelle. Hopefully,
I've had the flu.
I don't get sick. Hey, Jill. Good to see you, babe. Shauna is in the house. Welcome to Liminal Spaces with the one and only Jody. The Cosmos Remember Myth Retold. Yes.
Hey, Shauna.
Hey, Jeff. Good to see you. Good to see you. You guys like this video, share it out. I'm sure that, yeah, bless her. Bless her. For real. For real. I love you, babe. We love you, Janelle. So tonight is not, this big, it's when we do these lives, Jody is like, okay, we just don't have that many people coming in. And it's because this channel is basically an astrology channel. But a lot of people don't realize that astrology is mythology. They just really don't get it, that these planets, these hypotheticals, this cosmos, as above, so below. Okay. And they tell a story. The ancients have been telling stories for as long as man could look up. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, as long as we can remember.
As long as we can remember. So you don't think you'll make it? I don't think you will either, girl. I don't know. She keeps contracting. She keeps contracting. Jody, you're so handsome. Oh.
So are you, Janelle.
Janelle's handsome. But yeah, so I did a little, I did a little video for you guys because I wanted you to understand from, just a little bit of synopsis that we're going to get into tonight because I just had a members only live.
Yeah.
That talked about the second house.
Okay.
Our values with Venus.
Okay.
Venus is the I have house. It's the second house of astrology. And it is all about your values and how you truly value yourself. It is about the things that you own, the things that you possess. And it can be possessive. The second house is going to tell you a lot about you and how you handle worldly pleasures. Okay. So I'm going to just, it's not a long video that I did for you guys. I just did it just a little bit ago. It's just a few, just a couple of minutes, but it's gonna bring us into what we're gonna be talking about. And we're not gonna be, I'm not gonna take up a bunch of your time tonight. And I appreciate you guys being here. And those that would watch the live afterwards, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your time. You could be anywhere else. There is so much going on in the world, and there's so much stuff going on that it would be, you could be anywhere, but you're here. You're here and you are you're giving us your time, and we do appreciate that. So tonight I just want to I want to first download this video. Actually, I don't even have to download it. I can just show you from where I just created it on the Canva with my projects, because I think that maybe you could get a little bit more. Well, I could download it real quick. I could download it for you and show it to you. Yeah. So I'll do that real quick. I'll do that real quick. But thank you guys for being here. Hey Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, please hit that thumbs up, guys. Share it with your friends, because again, mythology and astrology go hand in hand. Astronomy, everything in this world is created, and it's pretty eerie that this world and all the things that we understand is going back to the mythos. And Venus is the Roman archetype, but Venus is not. Oh, oh, how did you do that?
I did that by accident.
Dang, how did you do that? Jody just went, whoa, with the screen. Dang, I didn't realize we could do that. Thanks,
just-
babe.
Pinch.
Holy shoot. Wow, that was cool as hell. He just did something, and it just made our screen go big time. So the mythology of Venus is the Roman archetype of Venus is going back to ancient times, in the Babylonian times, Mesopotamia. And we talked a little bit about this the last time that we went live. And the thing is, make you a strong
I
ice.
have one.
Yeah, he's got one. We got our iced coffee right now.
Mm.
We got it, girl. But yeah, so anything you want to say, Jody, before I play this
Nope.
video? Okay.
Uh-uh.
You're just along for the ride, aren't you?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Let me download this video real quick, and then we're gonna play it for you guys, because it's kind of like I was thinking about doing this as the intro, but I was like, nah, we won't. We'll just play it while we're live. Okay. We'll just play it. So it's downloading. Okay, so as it downloads, it's just like I said, it's just a couple of minutes. The Roman archetype of Venus goes way back. It goes back to Inanna. It goes back to Ishtar. It goes back to the Maya. I mean, we can just keep going back. We can tell all kinds of stories with different names. And then we come to the Roman archetype of Venus. And Jerome, and I think like 600 BCE.
Jerome?
Yeah.
What's that?
Jerome back in BCE. He was
Oh,
the
it's a
first
person. I
one.
thought you were trying to say Rome.
No,
And I was like,
Jerome.
girl, where's Jerome?
So back in like BCE, Jerome, the Vulgate, the original, we can go back to Ethiopia, and we can look at the Ethiopian Bible, and we can see where like the watchers, and the channel, the memberships here are the watchers.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the watchers are the light bringers. So like in the book of Enoch, it's different, because I don't think that Enoch is really talking about Venus, but the Watchers were the light bringers. The Watchers in the book of Enoch that was canonical in the Ethiopian Bible, the Watchers, there was about 200 stars that fell on their own. They wanted to come and inhabitate the earth. Inhabitate. They wanted to, what is the word that I'm looking for? Damn. They wanted to flourish the earth. Okay. They saw the earth and they wanted to come here. Okay. That was the book of Enoch.
Yeah,
And the
like
book
they
of
wanted to live
Enoch,
here.
yeah, they wanted to hang out. They came here. They descended to the earth on their own. They weren't cast out from heaven or anything like that. They came here. We could call them the Nephilim. Okay. Yeah. Co-inhabit.
I think maybe that's what you were looking for.
You've got the Ethiopian Bible,
They
girl.
wanted to inhabit.
Inhabit. Yeah. Inhabit. Yes. Co-inhabit. That is cool. So the Ethiopian Bible, as far as my studies go, the Ethiopian Bible does have the Ethiopian Bible does have the book of Enoch. Enoch's visions, if you will, because if you don't know anything about Enoch, like Enoch was taken into heaven, like he didn't die. Enoch was no more, is what it says. I mean, he was just no more. He was taken up into heaven. So the Jody, hey Shauna. So yeah, we just, we can talk about Venus and all of the stories, and they all are going to tell the same thing. And in our mythology, that is what we see with all of the archetypes, is all these stories. And all of these stories are telling the same story with different names. And the stories may be a little bit different, but they're going to basically be the same thing.
Yeah, and I like the Mesopotamian one better.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has more detail. It's a better story. It's
Okay.
older.
So we're going to play this for you guys, okay? And then he can talk about the story that he likes the best of Venus, the Roman archetype that we consider the ruler of the second house. And she is the bull. She's the bull. The symbolism is a bull, okay? Thousands of years before Babylon, the Sumerians tracked Venus disappearing from the sky for days. They turned this into the myth of Inanna, goddess of Venus, descending into the underworld. And to enter this realm of the dead, she had to strip away all of her crowns, jewels, and robes. This is the ultimate cosmic warning about Taurus energy. The material world is heavy. When we define ourselves entirely by what we own, our status and physical pleasures, we aren't rising. We are sinking. Materialism becomes our own personal underworld. You can't take your gold to the grave. I mean, I guess you can, but it's not going to hold any value. Inanna had to lose everything physical to face her shadow and be reborn. The morning star only returns to the sky after it travels through the dark. True enlightenment requires stripping away the illusions of the physical world. So the question becomes, are you building a golden cage or are you ready to rise? Ever wonder why the devil is called the morning star? The answer isn't just religious. It's an ancient blend of astrology and absolute political shade. In astrology, Venus rules Taurus, the sign of the bull. Taurus represents the pinnacle of worldly wealth, heavy material power, and massive luxury. And back in the ancient world, no one did Taurus energy bigger than the king of Babylon. The king of Babylon amassed so much earthly gold that he thought he was a god. He looked at Venus, the bright morning star, the brightest light in the night sky, and said, "That's me. I will ascend above the clouds, but he forgot one major rule of astronomy. The morning star is an illusion. It looks incredibly high and powerful, but the exact second the true sun rises, it completely vanishes. The biblical writers use Venus to mock the king. Your material empire is nothing but a fleeting shadow. The higher the material rise, the harder the cosmic fall. And that's the truth. That is the truth because Venus, if you are working that second house, and the reason why I didn't get into this the other night and our members only is because I knew we were going to be doing this tonight, and I wanted to save a little bit about what it truly is to value yourself and to value other people in the physical world, because Venus will take you down through there. She will take you down through there to teach you lessons about money. And when you equate yourself and your self value with money, that's when you descend into the underworld. And Venus has been called the morning star. Jesus called himself the morning star. And when the Bible was translated from Latin to English, Lucifer remained. Lucifer is not a falling star. Lucifer is not
The devil.
the devil.
Mhm.
That is such a I'm going to try to refrain from cussing.
It's a twisted teaching.
It is such a twisted teaching, and it's such a it's
It is
not
to
even
control
true.
people, though.
It is.
It is very intentional the
It
way
is
they
intentional.
twist those teachings. Especially, you got to think about the time period. They were trying to control that population at the time because the population was rebelling.
Right.
There was the story of Jesus spreading across their land, and Jesus was a rebel. Jesus did flip their tables, so they did want to control their population.
Right. And when people say Christ is king, look, that's like a slap in the face. That is a slap in the face. Do you see so many people, y'all? Do you see it? I've been seeing it. Christ is king, Christ is king, Christ is king. That's like a slap in the face every time somebody says Christ is king, because he doesn't want to be a king. He knows if we were to say that this figure that we call Yeshua, Jesus, actually lived, he would never want to be called a king. That would be the last thing that he would want to be called. Okay.
She's taking me.
Taking you down through there. I'm saying Venus will take your ass down through there into the underworld. And especially when it comes to the way that you value yourself, if you are only valuing yourself based on how much money you have in the bank, you've totally missed the mark.
Honestly, I think another reason I like the older stories better too is because not only do they make more sense, but Inanna, the other name for Inanna, who was Venus, the other name for her was Ishtar. And when Rome got to northwestern Europe, it was the time of Easter when they were conquering northwestern Europe, and they were reporting back to the emperors and the kings that they were having crazy like feasts and everything dedicated to Ishtar, which is where we got Easter. And it was about resurrection because the story of Inanna was about resurrection. But then, they change it and they say, no, that was about Jesus. He resurrected. And
Yeah.
then they go to the northernmost part of Europe at the time that they knew of, which was Britain. It was around Christmas time, which they were all celebrating Yule and the solstice. So they were bringing their trees inside and everything. they started going from door to door after they'd conquered the kingdom around Christmas time and spreading more Christ. So that's where we get the word Christ Mas. It's literally Latin for more Christ.
It's more Christ.
That was Jesus's birthday.
Yeah. No.
You're celebrating Jesus's birthday right now. Did you know that? And so it's easier to convert people because they're like, wow, that's we are celebrating right now.
Yeah.
Is it his birthday? And no, it wasn't. It was not his birthday.
The winter solstice. So, this is when Venus goes into the underworld. It's when she descends and she follows. So the another way to think about Venus, okay? Another way to think about Inanna, Ishtar, another way to think about the bull is that it always wants to ascend and try to become and be
Yes.
better than the sun.
And that was the story of her too. She
Yeah.
was always really ambitious. She was
Yeah.
always wanting more. And so when her sister, who was the queen of the underworld, the bull of heaven was her sister's husband. When he was murdered, she goes down to the underworld.
Do you want me to put the picture up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. So we could do that. I can actually do that here. Let me bring in the image with one of them, maybe. Let's see, which one is this one? What about that one? Or you
No.
want the other one?
Do the other one because that
Okay.
was later on.
Okay, let's do the other one then. Let me see if I can.
Shauna, yes, learning that the Christmas tree is wild. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was crazy when I learned it too.
the Christmas tree. Let me see if this one is it.
Janet, I've only started learning about this the last 2 years.
Oh, that's not it, is it? No. Okay, I've got several of them from
Dang, you
you.
need to name them.
I know. I haven't done it. This one is probably it.
Yeah,
There
you
they
go.
are.
So in
So
the
right
middle
here, so in the middle,
is a representation of Inanna, also named Ishtar.
so Inanna, Ishtar,
Is-
she is the one in the middle that is glowing.
She is Venus.
She is Venus. Okay, so this is Venus, Ishtar, Inanna, whatever it is that is going back into the mythos.
Yeah, for thousands of years on Easter, people were celebrating her descent and rise from the underworld. She
Thank you,
descended to the
Janet.
underworld. The girl next to her was her sister, Ereshkigal, and she was the ruler of the underworld, the queen of the underworld. Her husband was the bull, or the bull of heaven. And so when Ishtar decided to go to the funeral of her sister's husband in the underworld, she had to pass through 7 gates. And at each gate, she had to let go of one of her earthly or royal garments, and it always goes down her body. So she's letting go of her crown. She's letting go of her necklaces and her beads. She's letting go of her bracelets, her sandals, and her robe. And so it kind of goes all the way down until she's completely naked. And she gets down there to her sister. And because she's always been ambitious, her sister thinks that she's down there to take control of her kingdom, the underworld. So while she's hung low, Ereshkigal, her sister, and the other Anunnaki actually kill her and they hang her on a hook. So she's bowed low. Not only was she ambitious before, but now she has nothing. She's let go of everything that she knew, everything that she has, and then she's killed. She's literally hung on a hook for 3 days, 3 nights, and then she is rescued by one of her best friends that she told she was going to be doing this. And slowly she starts her ascent back up into heaven. And when she gets back up into heaven, she sees, how do I do this? I don't know how. Anyways, when she gets back,
Oh, add it to the stage.
okay, I was trying to do the other one.
Oh,
When she gets back
okay.
up, she knows that
one?
there's a rule where she's in tattered clothes,
Where she's in the
pointing at her husband.
oh, okay.
When she gets back up, she knows there is a rule that somebody else has to take her place. That's the way of death. And so death, if she's going to resurrect, that's something else that's different from Jesus as well, is that someone else had to take her place there. She didn't just get to come back and everything's fine. someone had to take her place. And in this photo, you can see she gets back and she sees that, everyone's mourning and she doesn't want these people to take her place. She gets to her husband and she sees he's not mourning. He's actually taken her throne and he's comfortable. He has mistresses near him. And so she chooses for him to take her place. And in this story, the husband's sister grieves that and makes a deal with Inanna, Ishtar, and her sister that if she can trade places with him for part of the year. So that's how they explained the seasons, because the husband here, or her ex-husband now, trades places with his sister because his sister said. So actually it's a story of siblings always back then. The story of Inanna, why she went into the underworld in her first place, was to be there with her sister. Her sister thought it was her ambition, and she was going to try to rule her kingdom, her underworld.
Right.
And by the time she realizes it wasn't that, when the Anunnaki decide to kill her, it wasn't really her sister that tried to kill her only. It was the Anunnaki. All of them made that decision.
Yeah.
It was a huge council of them. And so when she did die, her sister, the queen of the underworld, wailed for like the whole time, for the whole 3 days. And so when she was
I
brought
think
back
it's
to life,
interesting that all the stories that talk about Venus, it's always she goes down into the underworld for 3 days and then she rises on the third day. And we do hear that about Jesus.
yeah. Well, of course we did.
They're
They're going to take things we
that's
already were
Easter.
celebrating and they're going to put a different name on
They
it.
are.
That's
And
just my view.
and
And I
and
know
that
not everybody has that same view, but I've read a lot about it. And historically speaking,
historically
time-
speaking, it is absolutely phenomenal because all of these stories are telling the same thing. They're just telling the same they're telling the same type of stories, do you not think? Or do you think that the Babylonian I mean, what do you think?
I don't think they're telling the same
You
story.
don't think so?
I think
Okay.
they have the same beginning point. They have the
Yeah.
same structure.
Hey, Julia.
When you're talking about the morning star, you do always talk about the descent into the underworld because the morning star does descend below the horizon and then it does ascend back for 3 days,
Right.
during the time of the equinox. So you're going to have that same story, but in my opinion, they take completely different forms the more you tell the story. So the more you draw out the story. Like Inanna didn't do any of that for her ambition like everybody thought,
You're right. Yeah.
and she didn't rise up for humanity or anything else. She rose up to take her rightful place being humbled.
Ooh.
And the only reason that
Gives me the chills.
yeah, the only reason that bull of heaven was murdered anyways, it has to do with the story too. It's the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is
Oh,
the king
yeah.
you were talking about.
Okay, so Gilgamesh, we do have a picture of him with all of them. So all of them, let Jody tell you if I can. Let me try to find that picture again. Because Gilgamesh, did you tell him which one was what
No,
would have been
I
depicted?
didn't
Okay,
walk through it.
okay. So he can walk you through the one that is Gilgamesh. I think it was this one.
I think
This
it was.
probably, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
The very left
On the very
with
left,
the horns.
with the horns,
That's
with the
the bull
bull.
of heaven.
That's the bull of heaven.
That is the queen of the underworld, Ereshkigal's husband, the one
Okay.
who was murdered
Yeah.
by Gilgamesh, who is to his right. That's the king of Babylon. The king of Babylon, Gilgamesh, thought he was like a god. He was rich. He was a tyrant.
Yeah. So the one to the far right, that is Gilgamesh.
No,
No.
the one right next to the bull that looks like a
Oh,
king.
okay. I'm sorry.
is
The one.
Gilgamesh.
Okay. So the
The one
one.
to the far right is Enki, the one who was created by the gods, or Enkidu, the one who was created by the gods out of clay.
Oh,
Have you ever heard of that
wow.
before?
Yes.
So
You
this
told
is
me about that.
thousands
Yes.
of years before the Bible was ever written. Thousands. And here you have a man who is made of clay.
Okay, so go through them again from left to right. So from left to
So
right, we're
the
going to do it
the
again.
very left, you have the king. I mean, the bull of heaven.
And his
So
name is.
I don't know. He was named the bull of heaven.
Oh,
He
okay.
doesn't even have a name.
Oh,
That was
damn.
his name. I tried
The
looking it
bull
up.
of
That is
heaven.
literally his name. And then to the right of the bull of heaven, is the king of Babylon, Gilgamesh.
And so the king of Babylon.
Here's a
Okay,
tyrant.
the king of Babylon. Let's talk about that for a second because the king of Babylon is where a lot of our poets, our ancient poets, the theological um, depiction of Venus, the Roman archetype, would go to this man, okay, the king of Babylon. The king of Babylon, like I said in that video, the fall of the king, the fall of the king. That is where Venus, go ahead. I
Well,
know
he
you
was
have,
actually humbled.
yeah.
So when
Well,
they
he ended up being
created,
humbled.
yeah, when
He
they
ended up
created
being
the man
humbled.
out of clay, the man on the far right, they made the gods, or the Anunnaki, made that man out of clay to challenge the king who was a tyrant. Everyone in the kingdom was praying for relief from their leader, Gilgamesh. So the gods created somebody who would be as strong in all ways as Gilgamesh. What actually happened is when they first met, they fought. They rivaled each other. Neither of them won. They ended up being best friends. And they ended up killing the bull of heaven, who was a god. So it angered the gods, and then they killed Enkidu because they were the ones who created him anyway. And
Now,
that is what humbled.
Is Enkidu the same as Inky?
No, mom.
No,
Inky is
no,
an
I'm
Anunnaki.
asking
Yeah,
then.
no.
I'm just making sure
It
that
sounds
right.
similar, but Inky is an
I'm just
Anunnaki.
yeah, I want to
I understand.
okay.
So
I
Inky
want you to clarify
was
for
a
them that
god.
Enkidu is not Inky
Right,
from the Sumerian
right.
mythology. Yeah. So Enkidu is not the same.
No.
Only those dressed in humility can be clothed in power, important part of the journey. Yes.
That is literally why I think that the stories are different. You know, when you're learning about Jesus's resurrection and you learn about how they did the same thing, they tore off his clothes, did they not?
Yeah.
They spit on his clothes, they laughed about it, they auctioned it off to people for nothing. And they kind of brush over that though, because he did it for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just he did it so you will live in this way that we want you to live.
Exactly right.
And it's not the same story as the older one. And if it is, the way they teach it is so backwards and so
Yeah.
different.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the narrative. And so we are still living in that today where the bull, and if you think about it, if you ever have studied the market, the stock market, they got the bear and the bull. And, the bull is rising, the bear, the bear and the bull with the stock market. And even though it probably doesn't have anything to do with the ancient mythology, I wouldn't put it past them. Question and answer time. This was the first ancient mythology. What proceeds after in order? Does it end with the Roman?
So this was the first recorded mythology in human history.
Which is
This. So the Anunnaki, Babylon, Mesopotamia. This is known as the Fertile Crescent. This was the first written language
okay.
ever recorded after the last ice age. So if you're going to look for the oldest human mythologies, this is where it'll take you. You'll get to this story. You'll get to the Epic of Gilgamesh. You'll get to the creation story that they have as well. Their gods, their pantheon, the Anunnaki, the children of the sun, the light bringers.
The children of the sun. That reminds me of I trace the first recorded mythology back to the god Ar.
Which was this
and
time.
which was this time
Yeah.
period. So that was 25,000 years ago. And if we think about, like, I don't want to really go off the deep end, but if we really think about, like, the great year, or, the Kali Yuga, we are in a pivotal time period, because every 25,000 years, right, there's a cycle here. So the first would be this time period with the ancient Mesopotamia,
Hmm.
Babylonian, Ethiopian,
Which is also where you can trace back to the first laws.
the first
This is
human.
where people started literally farming. This is where they started
Get
having,
into that, Jody. Gosh, I'm
yeah,
getting thing. I need
it's where they
my
started
sweater.
having cities. It's where they started writing things down for future people to see.
Mhm.
So, and that was the whole point of recording things down. So you have laws, you have taxes, you have court disputes, you
Yep.
have everything you can trace back to this time period. But this isn't to say that we weren't living or having our own stories thousands of years before that. We were.
We
We
were.
lived over 100,000 years before this.
Yeah.
But for that 100,000 year period, we didn't write anything down.
We didn't. And, think about it. When Jesus is portrayed,
And
he
that was a
didn't write
choice, by the way.
he
not
didn't write
writing.
anything
Yeah.
down. And we don't know if it was a choice or not.
It was a choice because
Well,
they weren't
well,
so
no.
primitive that they couldn't
I
write.
think that it was symbolic.
So a choice.
I think it was a symbolism of why he didn't write. He did choose not to write anything down if he ever existed,
was
which they
symbolic.
think that he did. Archaeology, we think that he did. Okay, so he did choose not to write anything down, but it was symbolic as to why he didn't write anything down, because all the people that wrote about him, I think that there was a couple of people that might have known him.
So why do you think he didn't want to write anything down? What do you think that symbolized? Or what do you think he knew?
I think he was rebellious. I think he didn't want anyone.
I think he knew they'd try to make laws out
They
of
would
what
try
he
to
wrote
make
down.
laws, and he was against
Laws.
He was against. He would, like I said, people that are saying that Christ is king, it's like a slap in his face every time somebody says that. And I just cringe when I see it, because I know that people don't mean to, like, slap him in the face. But if this man that I've gotten to know really did, live, then he definitely would not have wanted anyone to call him a king. He despised the worldly laws. He could see into the future, just like Eisenhower. Eisenhower, yes, he did live during the period of time where MK Ultra was created, but he
Well,
saw into the future. He saw
for
today.
somebody's entire journey, talking to people, to be an entire point, to be like me, do as I do.
Mhm.
You are just like me. You can do the things I do. Even when he's talking about the miracles, like, if you have faith, we're one and the same.
Right.
So of course he's not the king.
Right.
He didn't want to be a king. He didn't want to be worshipped. He wanted you to act as he did. That way you could bring a heaven on earth,
Yeah.
Making him
Yes.
king, bowing down is almost kind of complacent, and it's kind of lazy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
lazy. Christ is king.
Christ
It's
is
lazy.
king. Christ is king. Christ is king.
Christ
He
is
would've
king,
never
but I
wanted
hate
to
you,
be
hate you,
king.
hate you, hate you. I hate you, you're poor, you're homeless, you stink, and you're poorer.
Yeah.
That's how whenever I see a Christ is king, I'm just gonna be honest. If you have a sticker on your car that says Christ is king, I am going to imagine the type of person you are in that car. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if that is you. I am judging you. And I'm sorry, Jesus, but I am judging them.
Because so I have a private, I'm pretty sure it was private, members only, where I'm showing the chart that I was given for the Christ. And it is a 333. If y'all remember, it was a 333. It was a 333. And this chart rises with Venus. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when I saw that, when I got told that, hey, I was born at this time and on this day, this is what you need to pull for Christ. That's going to be your Christ template. Okay, girl. When I pulled that chart and I saw Venus, because I've always, when I think about the first house, when you come into the world and you got that first house planet right there, and it's a personal planet with Venus.
I think it's interesting how Venus rules not only possessions but love too.
Yes.
And it's
The
kind of
love of
interesting.
I think it's the love of money or the love of possession.
It's
I think
possessions.
we can really go back and forth when it comes to the Venus archetype, you know?
Well, if you look at the story of Venus and you look at the story of going to the underworld, and it's like someone said on the chat too, all about humility and being
Yes.
humbled.
Yes.
Maybe it is, in one way of looking at it, the love of possessions, but it also always is about being humbled as well. Think about any time you've been taken down through there.
So there's times that I can read Venus, and I'm an intuitive reader. If you've ever had a reading by me, I'm an intuitive reader. So there's times that Venus, in her higher octave, when she is doing really good in your life, you're going to be a gardener. She's going to want to grow food. She's going to want to till the earth. She's not going to want to possess. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to want to gain material possessions. She's going to want to till the earth. She's very earthy. But we can consider Venus as a worldly, earthy type of energy too. So there's a fine line with balance. And I think that that's the reason why she also rules Libra.
Yeah.
The justice, the balance.
Because how can you ever excite justice if you're not coming from a humble place?
Right.
If you're ruling only from your ego, kind of like a Taurus, then
bullheaded, stubborn.
Think about it.
You rise in Taurus.
Like I've literally had to be humbled. I have had to be humbled. Like, honestly, if you don't know me, just know that I have been humbled in my life. But I think that makes people who they are.
It
I
does.
think it makes people true leaders like Gilgamesh. He ended up being the best king, by the way. And he was an actual
Shauna,
king,
I totally agree. I totally agree.
By the way,
such a great
the King
teacher.
Gilgamesh, I just want to say, is not mythology.
Okay.
Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh, his whole journey, parts of that are going to be mythology. The king himself is not mythology. His birth was recorded. His death was recorded. He was the third king of Babylon. He was the king of Babylon.
So the second one from the bull.
He is not a myth.
He is not a myth.
Every archaeologist, everyone knows
Gilgamesh for real lived.
Yeah.
He is not in the mythos.
And he was humbled.
He was humbled.
He ended up, after his friend who was made to challenge him, and it did challenge him, the death of his friend is what challenged him. They think...
Who was that? Do you remember who the friend was?
He's right there on the right.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
The man who was made by the gods to challenge him because he was a tyrant.
Okay, and that guy
the way it challenged him was he became his best friend. They did everything together. So when he died, Gilgamesh left his kingdom on a search for immortality because he could not accept that his friend was dead. Because he had everything. Why should death affect him if he thinks himself a god?
That's wild. That's wild.
So he never finds immortality. He comes back humbled and one of the best rulers of Babylon.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So what about Taurus Virgo? the balance of Libra between Virgo and Scorpio. I could ask 1,000 questions. Okay, and keeping on track. Virgo and Scorpio. Why would you want to know about
Scorpio.
the Scorpio and the
Virgo
Virgo?
Taurus is interesting because I mean you've got the bull-headed, Taurus, all about possessions and everything, also ruled by Venus. But then you've got Virgo, and I think Virgo and Libra have actually a lot in common because Virgo is the one holding the scales. Virgo is like Astria.
Astria.
Yeah.
So, guys, when I'm teaching astrology and when I'm looking at the astrology and I say Astrea, I'm constantly telling you guys, she is Virgo. She is Virgo. And why don't you go ahead and tell them about the divine justice, because she is divine justice. And if she is the constellation, she is the constellation of Virgo. That is who Astraea is. So if she is the constellation of Virgo and she is the one that is holding the scales outside of the courtroom, when you go into a courthouse and you see a woman, any type of woman that is depicted with holding the scales,
Sometimes she's blindfolded. Sometimes she has the sword in one hand and the scales in the other hand.
Yes,
Especially in ancient, like courtrooms, that's where that comes from. She would be blindfolded for
she's
blind
outside
justice.
the Supreme Court, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, blind justice.
Blind justice or the divine justice.
But anciently, she was always depicted with a blindfold for a reason.
Yeah.
She didn't see any wealth.
She didn't. Yeah.
That was the point of the courts.
Yeah. She is not, she is impartial. She is not, she is just weighing the scales.
And she's only using what she hears and what she knows inside to be true. But she holds the scales in one hand, but she also holds the sword in the other.
Yeah.
She has to know when to put that hammer down. And that's all, period.
Oh, period.
But I think that I'm sorry, I'm so distracted by this question because I'm obsessed with this question.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, so click
Where'd it
on
go?
it right there.
Oh.
I wonder. Yeah, you've done hit a nerve with Jody. Go ahead, Jody.
I'm telling you, all the way from the way they dress, like the descriptions of the Tuatha De Danann is very, very, very similar to Fertile Crescent people. Some people referred to them as the Scythians, and that was a whole migration that led to Ireland. That would have been a very early migration, and that would have been well before the later Bellbeaker people got there. The Tuatha De Danann, if they were from the Fertile Crescent, they would have actually followed the receding ice, which I've talked all about this with my mom. If you want to search up, you should search the People of the Hazel, and you should read the post on the People of the Hazel. If you search that online, and just know that I kind of think of them as like the Tuatha De Danann, honestly.
Yeah, tell them I'm Bridget of the Birds.
Oh my God. On St. Patrick's Day a few years ago, me and my mom went to this Irish thing. What was it? It was they had an Irish storyteller is the point. And he was telling this story of this lady, and her name was Bridget of the Birds. And she sounded just like my mom. She lived alone, like on a swamp. She ended up falling in love with Mailman. And anyway, so my mom's name has been Bridget of the Birds in my phone ever since. Okay, looks, they're called People of the Hazel. And the way they lived was very interesting because if you've ever watched Ice Age and how the people were following the herds while the glaciers retreated, flip that. So flip that story is what really probably happened. The herds were following the people in their controlled burns that they burned according to the phases of the moon.
Look at Janelle.
She's cracking up. The People of the Hazel.
People of the Hazel. Lady Freedom, what are you doing, girl? Hey, girl, Shauna, what a day. Glad I
Hey,
made
Lady
it. I set my
Freedom.
notifications but got busy. Hey, babe.
Yeah, Shauna lived alone on a swamp.
Yeah.
And my mom does live on it. Well, it's not a swamp
It's not a
anymore.
swamp anymore.
They got rain.
We got,
Finally, after years, you got rain. So
yeah,
now she lives on a pond again.
yeah, Jill. It's Jill. I mean, Jill came and it's like dry as a bone. And I forgot to show Jill
The
the dam.
pond?
I forgot to show Jill the dam. So the last time that Jill was here, we built a dam. We literally built a dam,
You
and the
and
dam
Jill?
is and Jeff
Jill built a dam?
with me and Jeff.
Oh my God.
We did.
Don't put her to work.
I'm telling you, girl.
Come on, Jill. We're going to go build a dam.
Yeah.
Damn.
Jill, it is the pond is overflowing now, girl. We've gotten so much rain since you left, but the dam has held and it looks great.
Jill, I did not know they made you build a dam. Drove all the way over here to be put to free labor.
Lady Freedom is in the house. Hello, my sweet Trisha. Trisha, you've met her. I think
I've met Trisha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Janelle in the house. Trisha. I love having all you guys here. I just feel like we're just a little family.
Yeah, Jeff, where are you at? Are you
Where's
asleep?
Jeff? Jeff is bobbing and weaving. Jeff is on the couch.
Oh
He's
my
done.
God.
Jeff gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, guys. He's done. He's done. Let me call him.
Yeah.
Wake up, Jeff. Oh, there he is.
Okay, there you are. Maybe saying his name woke him up.
Janelle is here, right here. Yeah, Janelle's about to pop. We're about to have a baby, guys. We're about to have a baby.
She's miserable.
Being little beavers. Hey, the beavers are coming back. I
Are
can
they?
promise you, I'm sure they will. We got a blue heron. We got a baby blue
What do you think the
heron.
beavers are going to think when they see the dam?
The beavers are going to be like,
They're going to be like, hell
we
yeah.
didn't even have to do this.
Nice.
Thank God. We summoned Jeff. Oh my gosh. But y'all, when it comes to mythology, so when Jody was growing up, he was all into the mythos, all into the mythos. And when I started getting into astrology, like I've told you guys numerous times, I came to Jody and I'm like, I need to know everything you know. Like, I need your brain
She did.
right now.
And it took a long time. It took days in the basement.
And I'm like, you are an astrologer. You don't even know it. Like, you can read astrology so good. Estera Fire. Hello, honey. Just now able to chime in. Well, I'm so glad that you did, babe. The beavers are so cute. Oh my gosh, they are so cute. I love seeing them. I love seeing them.
Water starts rushing like that, the beavers will show up and they'll start damming.
Yeah, they will.
And that's good because they help it from getting too dry. They sustain ecosystems. If you have no beavers, it's bad for the ecosystem.
Yeah, it is bad. The corn I think, is making it. Jeff is making sure that they are going to make it. They are. And the beavers, oh gosh, guys, when the beavers come, I promise you, we will be videoing them.
Sometimes
when
get
it's
otters.
Yeah, otters. We've
River
seen, oh my
otters.
God, we have seen a big,
Oh,
I mean,
full-grown
full-grown otter.
river otter.
So if you guys, those of you that have been to the cabin, the Back Creek, that's where we have seen the full-grown otter bathing, being all cute and stuff. I had 3 raccoons a couple of nights ago in the city of Phoenix. They like my pool.
Honestly, I love that for them.
Raccoons wouldn't be so bad, but I've got chickens and they're mean to my chickens. You did. Okay, so we are talking about, or what we were talking about, what we're still going to be talking about is Venus. Venus and all of the different stories of Venus, because Venus is really the Roman archetype. That is the Roman name.
Mhm.
And so we use Venus to talk about the second house, to talk about the bull, to talk about money
Yes.
and possessions, going down into the underworld, trying to be as bright and beautiful as the sun.
And
But
the
she just
interesting
can't be
thing,
that.
the interesting thing about mythology and stories is they're all created on the back of the older one. They're never created originally.
Mm-mm.
You don't find that. So you always find
The Romans stole it all.
but
Okay.
everybody steals it all. So the Babylonians stole it from somebody who never wrote it down. And then the Sumerians stole it, then the Mesopotamians stole it, and then you have the Greeks who stole it, the Romans who stole it, then you have Northwestern Europeans who stole it, but they're not stealing it. They're
Right.
taking the same mythology and they're adding different names to it because they have different languages. They're not taking it like they're not going, okay, we're going to take this mythology and sell it to all the people today.
Right.
It's
Well,
something
I don't know. Sometimes I think the Romans did.
humans move. Humans are like animals. They migrate. As they migrate, they
We
bring
tell
their
a story from the heavens.
Yes.
We're just telling
They
the
bring
story
their
from the
stories
heavens.
with them though.
Mm-hmm.
And names do change over time. And the stories do change over time. But they were never created originally. They weren't.
Right.
They can go back as long as humans could speak to one another. That's what we do.
And so we've always, as above, so below. We in the Hermetica, that philosophy, as above, so below. We have always, humanity has always, we have always looked up to the stars. We've told stories, and about the stars, we have created stories
To
that are,
explain ourselves, to explain humanity's values, our
yes,
morals. What do we find important to us? What do we pass on to our children?
right,
How do we want them to learn from how do we want them to learn from what we've already learned? You
right,
know what I mean? How can we make it easier on them? Humans have been the same
yeah,
for over 100,000 years. We've been anatomically the same.
right. And we just keep telling the same story over and over again, but
Venus always comes down to death, resurrection, humility, the descent into the underworld, the rise again and taking your rightful place now that you've been humbled and you're wise now.
yes.
You're never the same after your descent into the underworld.
No, you're not.
And I
we're
think
not.
everybody here knows that.
Gosh, I mean, I'm getting the chills. Like, I get it. Like, this is, when we did the second house the other day, I really wanted to get into all of this, but I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we just held this, because I knew that tonight we would be talking about Venus, and the underworld is not a hell. It is a state of being. It's an experience, because when we lose our house, okay, and it goes into foreclosure, when we lose that special loved one, or when we lose something of value, it can take us down through there. And when Venus follows the sun and then she rises again, it is that phoenix that is rising from the ashes of death, and she is rebirthed. We can think of her as Scorpio.
And when does she do that? When does she go down there for 3 days? It is after we have been in winter, and it is right before spring, and the spring equinox happens. So now you have finally started to have longer days. As that happens, Venus goes into the underworld. And as she's under the underworld for 3 nights, it's been winter. You know what I mean? Like, you've been cold, you're ready for the sun.
Right.
Venus, after 3 days, comes back over that horizon, renewed.
Yes.
And that is now the promise for everyone in their families. They're gonna eat.
Yes.
They're gonna have celebrations, they're gonna have feasts.
Hey, Janice. Hey, honey. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here with me and my son, Jody. Thank you so much for being here and hitting that like button and
Yeah,
just hanging
Jeff.
out with us. It is the loss.
I mean, you've lost everything. It's been winter too, and it's been cold. You're at rock bottom. That's kind of the way the story really goes with Venus, the light
Right.
bringer.
The
So
morning star and the evening star.
when you think of the morning star, if you think of Lucifer, I do challenge you to think again before you think of the morning star as the devil or your adversary or Satan.
Yeah.
And I think maybe adversary
There you
isn't
go.
so wrong.
I think we need to talk about that. I think you're going in the right direction. And Liliana, we love you, baby. Let's go into that. Let's get into that.
Like, I don't know where to start with that, honestly.
Yeah, you do.
I think you do. Here you go.
What did you say?
I
I forgot because Lily is here. And I'm like, oh, Lily.
Yeah. Like
I started
the light
singing
bringer, the
Liliana.
morning star, you know, when you have the depictions in the Bible.
No, you said something else. You said a
The
key word.
adversary.
Okay, yes, the adversary.
Yeah.
So the adversary, Lucifer, the morning star, the adversary was created because Lucifer became the devil. Okay, so Lucifer is called, it was a Latin word, but
Lucifer.
it was no, it was a Latin word that I can't remember. It was translated, the Latin word was translated
Are you talking about
with the King
Greek,
James Bible. Yes.
the Greek word? The Latin
No,
word?
no, 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 the
Luz-
Latin.
Light. The Latin word is Lucifer. The Greek word is something else.
No, oh,
You're
okay.
thinking of the Greek word.
Okay, you're right.
I
You're right.
promise.
You're right. Because it was translated. No. Okay, so it was translated. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I've got it in my notes here. So hold on. I think I've got it in my notes right here. So the Roman tradition translated phosphorus directly into Lucifer, a purely astronomical name meaning light bearer, carrying the same positive association with the arrival of day, with the day, with the
So
dawn.
phosphorus being the Greek word.
Okay, so the dawn is Venus. It is the same archetype, whoever you want to call her, Inanna, Ishtar, she is the same. She is a light bearer. And the Roman tradition translated the phosphorus, which was the Greek name, phosphorus,
Yes.
into Lucifer,
Which is Latin.
which is Latin. And it is meaning the light bearer, the one that brings light. Okay, so it's not.
And you know, Jesus refers to himself in the Gospel of Thomas as the light bearer.
Yes,
Just
in
saying.
in the Bible, even he does.
And when he goes into the underworld, what book was that in? When he is literally being the light bearer, bringing light into the underworld.
I'm thinking about Isaiah. I'm thinking
I
about
can't remember which book it was either. If y'all know, y'all tell us, please.
well, Jesus did say that he is the morning star.
Yes.
He was the
Yes.
he is the dawn. And so it's the same symbolism and the same they all said the same thing. The poets, the ancient poets even, they're saying the same thing as the dawn, the light bringer, the light bearer. So Lucifer has gotten a name that is
Preachers started calling him Satan.
yeah, calling him devil. It's not true.
People.
It is not true. So the adversary is not one person. It is describing someone that is coming against you,
Challenging you.
that is challenging you.
Just like Enkidu was created from clay to challenge
Right.
Gilgamesh, the king of Babylon.
Right.
And it was actually his death that challenged him.
Yeah.
It's not in the way that you think. When the story first starts, you're like, oh, he's going to fight Gilgamesh. One of them's going to come out the victor.
Right.
And of course, Gilgamesh did lose because he lost his best friend. It goes from thinking that they're going to fight it out with like brute force to being about grief.
Yeah.
You know?
But Satan was created. There was never a Satan. Okay, so let's make sure that we
I want
all
to see where it says Satan in the Bible looks.
Yeah, so there is no Satan.
Please show us the passage where it says that in the Bible.
The Satan there is no Satan in mythology. There is a Lucifer that is a light bringer, but there was not ever a Lucifer that was an angel that fell from heaven. There was never that. In Hellenistic, the Hellenistic astronomers realized that both stars were the single planet, one planet, and that was who we call Venus. And that is also the same as Aphrodite. So in the Greek, Aphrodite, phosphorus, the two that they thought that they saw, it was not two, the bright morning star, the evening star. There was not two stars, it was one star, and that is the light bringer of Venus. She descends for 3 days, she comes back up, and she is resurrected. And that is the story of Venus. That is the story of Ishtar. That is the story of Inanna. That is the story of Jesus. That is the story of the light bearer that the Roman tradition translated phosphorus in the Bible into the name Lucifer. So if you think about Lucifer, I want you to think about phosphorus because it was first phosphorus of the Greek. And phosphorus isn't Satan. It isn't a devil. There isn't there is an adversary that comes against you that challenges you. And so what would really be challenging you? It's going to be you. You're going to be your own adversary.
We should talk about this.
Okay. The Star of Bethlehem. Okay. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead. I'm going to take a break real quick.
it does have many interpretations. I don't think that the Star of Bethlehem would have been Venus because they saw like a unique, specific sign, and Venus is on a predictable cycle. But I think it is interesting. I want to know what she thinks about it. That's why I clicked this one, because it was the Magi who noticed the Star of Bethlehem. And the Magi were Persian priests. And those priests studied the heavens and advised kings. That is what we know about the Magi. And it was a Greek word, as in the Magi was a Greek word like Magoi, but the actual Magi were those priests who studied the heavens, or they were astrologers, and then they advised the kings. So what do you think the Star of Bethlehem could have been?
The bright morning star. I think it was Venus.
So you
I
think
think it was
Venus?
Yeah. So, like I said, when I pulled the chart and I saw Venus on the chart that I pulled for the Christ and the
Do you
first
think it was like an alignment of Venus that they were seeing?
I think it could have been an alignment. I think that it could have been an alignment, but I
Considering
think
Venus
that
is always kind of on that schedule. So what did they see that was different about Venus? I wonder, you know? I think that's maybe kind of going to touch on what Sean is wondering too.
I think it's Venus. I learned that Satan was referenced from Saturn in Hebrew.
They saw his star in the east and have come to worship him, the Magi.
I mean, I've always thought it was Venus.
Yeah.
I always thought it was Venus. The Star of Bethlehem is
Maybe it
Venus.
was.
And he does rise, you know, the chart that I have for him rises with Venus. So, you know, I think that we astrologers have been looking at the stars and studying the stars, and it's only been the last, I would say maybe since the 800, 1400, maybe 1400. Since the year maybe 1400, something around there, where we were shunned and called witches because we were seeing things. We were understanding the signs of the heavens, and we are a threat. We are a threat.
From a historical perspective, the strongest evidence points to the Magi being learned Eastern astrologer priests, probably from Persia or nearby Mesopotamia, who interpreted celestial events as signs of important earthly happenings.
It could have been an
I
alignment.
haven't read enough about the Magi. That's really cool, though.
Yeah. I mean, we've
That's
been around
badass.
for,
You are a Magi.
I'm a magi. Our astrologers are magi.
know.
We're studying the signs. We're looking for the signs. We're looking for the signs of God. What's going on now? What are we doing now? What's going on, God? What are we
Literally your
doing?
life.
What are we doing? I learned that Satan was referenced
love
from
this.
Saturn in Hebrew.
Honestly,
I
I vibe
don't
with that.
Saturn in Hebrew. So when
Yeah,
I
don't
think of
understand
Saturn,
Saturn in Hebrew.
I don't think so. Saturn to me, like for me, intuitively, Saturn is the Vatican.
Ugh, but mythologically speaking, the Vatican is Satan. Exactly what she said. She just proved your point. If Saturn is the Vatican, then Saturn is Satan. I feel like
Saturn,
I think I don't need to be saying so much on this live.
Saturn is the Vatican.
I don't think I need to be saying so much on this live.
You can.
Just so everybody knows, like, I love my life. Like, I do not want to end my life if something ever happens to me. I am fine.
No, you're fine. That was the one thing that my mom she was really upset when I left real estate. My mom was like, "Oh my God, Jen. Oh no. What are you doing? People are gonna come after you, girl. You're not gonna, oh my God." And I was like, "No, I'm gonna be fine, Mom. I'm gonna be
I
fine."
mean, the story of Saturn, though, kind of does give Satan vibes.
Yeah.
The way he, like, eats his children. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's
And
Kronos, though. So in
Kronos is
astrology,
also Saturn, though.
but it's not. So
Mythologically, it is. Just
yeah, I know.
we have a rift here. Because astrologically speaking, it's not the same. But mythologically speaking, honestly,
But no, I don't think that Satan, that is not even. I just,
Hebrew is like
I have to,
Shabtai.
I have to disagree. I don't think so. Astera Fire. If you want to send me a link, that's cool. I'll try to learn, but I don't think so. Oh, ancient astrologers named Saturn because it was Shabtai, because it was the slowest moving planet, sluggish and steady, and
Hebrew
perfectly
word for
embodying the
Satan-
energy of the Sabbath.
The Hebrew word for Satan is Satan.
Yeah, it's the seventh day.
It's Satan.
So each day, so that's another thing, each day, and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, each day has a planet that actually rules that day.
To oppose Satan, the Hebrew word
Yeah.
to oppose, to obstruct, or to accuse.
Uh,
In the Hebrew Bible, a Satan is simply an adversary, a prosecutor, or an obstacle. It
mhm.
wasn't originally a proper name for a horned devil, but a functional title for someone standing in your way or testing you, which makes me think of Jesus when he's on the mount, right? When he's
It's
on the mount.
crazy how we can
We're not talking
we
about
can
something.
correlate. Yeah.
Mount,
Yeah, it's
right?
it's crazy how we can
I
correlate
can't
with
remember
that.
that story. He's on the mount, and one of God's angels, who was the angel, is like testing him. Was it literally Lucifer? Who's testing
Hold
the
on.
mount? And he says,
It's
I have power over the earth. I can give that to you. He's
I don't remember
testing
that story. Do
Jesus.
y'all? Do y'all remember that?
This is a huge like story for the Bible. Jesus.
Where he is saying to, I don't remember that.
The tester, Satan. In the Gospel of Matthew, Gospel of Mark, and the Gospel of Luke, Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness. After that,
Oh,
he was
okay.
tempted 3 times.
Yeah, it's always that third time. It's 3, 3,
Turn
3.
stones into bread to satisfy your hunger. Throw yourself from the pinnacle of the temple. The angels will save you. And then on the mount, the tempter, the accuser, showed Jesus all of the kingdoms of the world and offered them to him, as in he already had power over the kingdoms of the world.
But what is the actual scripture of it?
That's fine.
So yeah, find the scripture. Yeah, we just saw it. We just pulled it up and we were looking at it. It's just an adversary. So that is where we are. I guess that's where we're really going with this, is that the true Satan, the true devil, the true Lucifer is not one name. So they were translated that one name because we are going back into the ancient Babylonian, Mesopotamian time period before these names were created. Okay. We've got nouns, we got pronouns, we got verbs that have been translated and turned into other things. So what I'm saying here is that
So yeah, the
Satan
scripture again
is not the same thing as Lucifer.
again
Lucifer is a light bearer. Lucifer is translated from phosphorus. It's a light bearer. Has nothing to do with being an adversary. Now,
No.
Satan and the devil, that was created.
Yes.
Those words, Satan,
The Bible never
and
says
devil.
Lucifer is the adversary. It never says Lucifer is the accuser. It never says
Right.
Lucifer is the opposer. It does say Lucifer, lightbringer. It never says the lightbringer is the adversary.
Right.
Lucifer is Latin. Satan is Hebrew. So it's never saying like Lucifer is Satan. It's never going to say that. They're two different
Right.
ideas.
So what we are talking about isn't Saturn. So we're not talking
Why did
about
people start calling Lucifer Satan? Like literally, I can't fathom why people start
because
doing that.
because
Doesn't
they
make
created
sense.
a story of fallen angels.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, okay, so we can look at this in today's world. Okay. So we've got to think about this. Your mind is controlled by the narrative. It always has been this way. It will always be this way. That is the adversary. That is the adversary. We see this every day in modern day, them trying to control your mind. And it's getting even more intense because of the internet and the networking, the narrative and I've been telling you guys who they is in modern day, they, for the last 100 years, is the military industrial complex. This narrative is how they control your mind. That is an adversary. So if there is a Satan that we want to just say that there is one name for the adversary, if there is a devil that is an adversary, then let's call it what it is. It's called the military industrial complex in modern day. That's what Satan,
Power over the air.
power over the air, the airwaves. And so we can even go deep into that and say that the power of the air over the airwaves, I'm talking on the airwave. I'm talking to you guys right now over the airwave. This is a radio wave. This is an airwave and it's congested. There's a lot of congestion here and it affects the pneuma. It affects your lungs. I can go deep, 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 deep into this modern day adversary. Venus is the topic, and Venus
Is not the adversary.
is not the adversary unless you allow the material world to possess your values, your inner value, that's when Venus will become the adversary. That is when you are taken in by your material possessions, and that is who you are. And as soon as you are humbled,
which you will be,
which you will
because
be,
if that is,
you will be taken down into the underworld.
Yeah.
Now you're in
That
hell.
is not
Now you're in hell.
material possessions will
Mm.
you will
Yeah.
always lose those possessions. And that's why on that mount, the story of Jesus does hold value, because
Yes.
Jesus was offered to rule the entire planet. And that's why he will never be king.
He will never be
He
king.
did not.
Anytime you guys see
resisted
Christ is
that the
king,
mount.
that is slapping
Jesus and what he's
the
for in
Christ, the
face.
Christ in you, the
Yes.
Christ in us. We are a collective Christ consciousness.
Mhm.
And this Christ that is in all of us, that is a slap in the face, because
Humans,
we are
for
not.
thousands of years,
That is not
believe
the goal.
that there is a spark of light within everybody.
Mhm.
Some people call it Christ, and
Yeah.
some people just call it God.
Mhm.
And that is within everybody. It doesn't matter what stories you look for, you can always find parables about it. And in mainstream biblical interpretation, the central message of passages like
It's not about the planet Saturn itself, but about turning away from the worship of God. So again, we got to think about the Bible. So for me,
the Bible is so new.
exactly. Personally, the Bible is just astrology.
Is so
Yes.
new.
So the Bible is written by King James and his lover or his half brother, or whatever it is.
It was edited by King James.
Edited by King James and Francis Bacon.
Queen
James and Francis Bacon.
Pedophile James.
Yes. Francis Bacon.
Honestly.
Is if any of you guys were to study Sir Francis Bacon, you will understand why it is when you read the Bible, you're thinking about the writer and the author of Francis Bacon, because his hand is all in it. It's all in it.
You'll
And he was
also
an astrologer.
understand Shakespeare and Beowulf. Which is pretty crazy.
He wrote Shakespeare. William Shakespeare did not write Shakespeare.
There was no William Shakespeare.
There was no William Shakespeare.
That was
oh my God.
That was a anonymous writer using that name. There is
the first man to die of
William
COVID.
Shakespeare, just so y'all know,
was William Shakespeare. I kid you not. The first man to pass away from COVID was William Shakespeare.
William was not a real man. That is crazy.
I don't think he was real either. I don't think this guy was real either. No, I know.
He was not real.
Oh, I know.
That was a name for a writer. Did not want to be. It's kind of like how Sia. She wore that mask for forever. She didn't want everyone to know her face. It's just like Sia.
So you do have to study who Sir Francis Bacon is.
He was the ancient Sia.
Yeah. You got to study who Sir Francis Bacon is, because you can't say that King James is the author of the Bible. He's of the King James Bible. He's really not. Sir Francis Bacon
and
was.
Yes, Astra.
That's who I think.
He did write the book of demonology. Actually, the most extensive book of demonology. He was obsessed with that.
Yeah.
That was an obsession of King James. He was huge on that. Did you know that?
Queen James?
Yeah. He was huge on demonology.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Witchcraft. Totally loved it. Totally fascinated. But then he burned everybody. Then he burned everybody. So
I've talked about his birth chart, guys. We have deep dive, and maybe we should do that again. Deep dive King James, because we got his birth time, and I can show you all of his connections. I'm going to. I can tell you every connection the man's got.
James.
I'm so connected to King James. It's not even funny.
Of Mary, Queen of Scots. And I feel like Mary, Queen of Scots, is like, I love her. And so I'm really upset with what her freaking son has done. What have you done, Mary?
And what did she do with Sir Francis Bacon?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
She
You
sent
know more
him
about
on a
that than me.
quest.
Yeah.
She sent him everywhere. King James's mommy. She sent Sir Francis Bacon everywhere to learn everything
Honestly,
that there
Mary Queen of
was.
Scots was awesome. The fact that
And
she
word
was beheaded
is,
is just, that sucks, man.
well, word is that, you know, she was, he just ruled at the time of the writings.
King James?
No,
Oh no.
no.
No. And that's no. He had a major,
Good question,
that is
Cinderella.
a
Let's
really
talk
good
about it.
question.
Let's talk about that. No, King James and Sir Francis Bacon wrote what you read today with the Bible.
They decided what would be included. They changed the phrases. And at the time,
They
he was
translated
also
it.
uniting
That's
England, Scotland, and Ireland into one kingdom.
mhm.
So this is like honestly the beginning of what we would end up calling the United Kingdom.
Yes.
And so he was definitely trying to control a population.
There was a narrative that was created with
Yeah.
Sir Francis Bacon. He had to be very fluent in many languages. He was sent to many schools, to many
And there were
countries.
many rumors about him. And the rumors about him, he wanted to make it well known that he was having a part to play with his beliefs in how he edited the Bible. He was trying to tell the population of the United Kingdom what he believed inside, because there were a lot of rumors that he was touching little boys.
Yes.
There were a lot of rumors
Very
that
much
he was
so.
doing worse things than that. And
Mm.
when he is trying to tell this population, these are my beliefs, what better way to do that than using faith?
Right.
That was his biggest tool. If you're a ruler at that time, using faith is going to change how your population sees you, which will save your life.
Mhm.
You know, he had a huge part to play in the King James version of the Bible. That's why it's a version of the Bible. You can look at the Bible, King James version. This is this man's version of the Bible, the most sold Bible in the world. was
I
his
want to
version.
emphasize that it wasn't just him because
But he didn't write the Bible.
no, he did not.
That's a big distinction.
No, he definitely did not. He just translated. He translated it. He and Francis Bacon. Because even though Francis Bacon doesn't get a Francis Bacon Bible, he should have. You know, Francis Bacon, I really wish you guys would get deep dive into Sir Francis Bacon. I really wish you would.
I mean, this would be a cool deep dive, and I think we should do this for another day because that first Christian church was in Ethiopia.
Yes.
And there's a lot to be learned there. And the book of Enoch.
The book of Enoch is
it's rumored
in
that the Holy Grail is guarded in this first church in
Ethiopia.
So that'd be a cool topic.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we could even look at the chart of Ethiopia. Okay. I mean, we could deep dive
We could
into
beat the Magi and we could travel to Ethiopia and we could bring gifts of myrrh.
Yes. Yes. You know, today's energy, the day before, the day before, the day before, and then the days to come, it's been all about the military industrial complex. And the reason why I keep saying that is because the energy is around. And because the energy is so prevalent, while Tyler Robinson is in court for the preliminary hearing of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I think it's so important that we, the people, understand that our minds, it's not just something that has just started. Our minds, our kingdom, the mind, it has been controlled by a narrative. Narratives are always controlling the populace, okay? And it has been embedded in us about God, death, being saved, and things that, our justice system is corrupt. Our schools and the education is corrupt. Our pastors and preachers are corrupt. It's almost like everywhere you turn, it is just so corrupt because the world is being led by the bull and it has not risen. There is nothing that is coming of the bull, and we've got to go higher. We have to go higher. There's no justice. Even our Department of Justice, we've got people, where our oversight committee is talking about MK Ultra with the CIA, and this has been going on for 75 years, if not more.
There's an ancient Greek prophecy though.
What?
That Astria or
The-
Justice or Venus will
And remember, Astria is
yeah,
the constellation of Virgo. So when
Virgo.
we think of Virgo, when you think of Virgo, Astria,
At the end of the
she
last
is holding the
golden
scales.
age, she was the god or goddess who stayed the longest to make sure justice was being served until she just couldn't anymore.
Well, what I tell my channel is she gave the finger, and she was like, "F y'all, I'm out of here.
She said, I don't subscribe to
I
any of
don't
this
subscribe to
thing."
y'all."
And she became a constellation. She
Yes.
went to the stars. But the ancient Greek prophecy is that
She will
in the beginning
return.
of the next golden age, Astria will return. So Venus will return. Justice will return. You've got the same prophecy of Jesus coming back, the Messiah coming back. You know what I mean? And it's the same themes.
It just ushers in an enlightenment time
And
where
what do you
we
think
are
that's going to
enlightened.
look like? If it's an enlightened time, if
We're
it's
gonna
a
have to be
golden
dropped.
age, people will be just.
Mhm.
People will be humbled.
Humbled.
People will treat their neighbor as they would themselves. People will wash each other's feet,
Yep.
Mhm. So,
Yep.
and I think you're right. Like the military industrial complex has got to be the modern day adversary.
It is the adversary.
And the reason we say military industrial complex, it's not only the military.
No.
It is the corporation.
Yes.
It is the
The
mining of
lobbyists.
cobalt. It is the child
Lockheed
slavery in
Martin.
the Congo. It
Yes.
is all of that.
Ooh, get with it.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes. Yes.
All of that together is what you call the military industrial complex.
And there are people that don't want to flip the script. They want to keep the same narrative. They want to keep us dumbed down. They want to keep us sick. They want to keep us confused, distracted, at each other's throats. And that is the way that it's been for thousands of years now. And so the Pisces age,
Humans say though,
we're waking up.
we have been.
We're waking up from the dream.
What's recorded is we have been in a golden age before.
Yes, we have been in a
Humans
golden age
always
before.
pass that down. We have had a golden age. We have had ages with no violence. We have had ages with cities and crazy architecture and stuff like that that's been lost to time. And I might add that before the last ice age,
Go for it, Jody.
was
This is on
100
you. Do it to it.
No, where are you going? Will you get me
Right
another
here.
iced coffee?
Yeah.
Before the last ice age, 100,000 years of existence we know nothing about. The last ice age recorded human history was 13,000 years ago. Just think about that. So much we do not know. So much was never written, and so much is literally lost to time. But we were the same people. We can't think about ourselves as modern in a sense of better now, because when we were spreading across Europe, we were planting food forests. We were following the phases of the moon. We were a keystone species in archaeological terms. So you can't think about modern as somehow more advanced. We are doing things now that a lot of people, ancient humans, probably would spit on and say that that is not advanced. I don't view it as more like advanced whatsoever. Thanks.
Yeah, we did follow the stars.
The moon, the stars. We built monuments that we can't build today. So, so what about that? How advanced are we? We can't even build the same monuments that we built back then. Why haven't we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hi, Orb.
Oh, she's here.
Mhm.
Baby.
Orb, we've been going down through there, girl. I don't even know what all we've talked about. Venus, we talked about Inanna and Ishtar, we talked about the archetypes and symbolism of death, rebirth, the journey through the underworld, people in the chat, core them back to Dark Nights of the Soul. We talked about the light bringer, in Latin, Lucifer, not being the same as Satan. Shauna said, how did they build the pyramids? Serious question. Your take on it, Jody.
Oh, she's speaking your language.
I can't say how they built the pyramids, but I do know that the pyramids, what I do know is they were built with mathematics that were retrieved from the knowledge of the circumference of the earth. So the people who built the pyramids or the people who ordered the pyramids to be built, well, yeah, obviously the Egyptians, they knew the circumference of the earth. They knew degrees of the longitude and latitude lines. They knew diameter as well. So something that doesn't add up with me is how they could know the circumference of the earth if they had supposedly never traveled the seas. If they had never been to the other sides of the earth, how did they know how big the earth was?
Right.
Well, I guess maybe they could have figured that out.
She said, well, shit, missed a lot. Yes, you did,
Yeah.
Orb. Yeah, girl.
I guess they could have figured out the circumference of the earth, just like using basic multiplication, I guess, and division. But the way that they built the pyramids was very, very advanced, and it was very much aligned to Orion.
Oh, Jeff is still in the house. Look at you, babe. You're still awake, baby. He said mathematics. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, someone call me next time.
Advanced
I will.
mathematics.
Advanced
I mean,
mathematics.
when people study the ancient, when people study the pyramids of Giza and other pyramids around the world, like what was it? How do you pronounce it in South America? I'm gonna butcher this.
Go ahead and try it.
Uh,
Go ahead and try it, babe.
I don't even want to try that.
No, just try it.
But the pyramids in South America as well. When they study those and the mathematics of those, it just baffles researchers.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
So
If people say we're more advanced now, they're just wrong. I think we've gotten more
that's what I was gonna say.
more disconnected. We're no longer a keystone species. We're no longer serving a purpose here, a larger purpose. We're no longer growing food forests. We are cutting forests. We are doing the opposite of what our ancestors have done for hundreds of thousands of years.
What I think, or I think I'm speaking for both me and Jody, is that we don't think that we came from cavemen and, we think that we have risen with technology and we have fell. We rise and we fall.
I think the opposite.
Just like
I
Venus.
think the cavemen were highly advanced people
Yeah, we
that
don't
covered
think
their bodies
yes.
in red ochre to protect themselves from the harmful radiation of the sun at
We
the beginning
do.
of the last ice age. They were leaving a message for the future of humanity, and I think that they were very advanced when they populated northwestern Europe during the receding of the glaciers. They planted food forests all around them, forests of hazel, crabapple, everything. When you're looking at a picture from the sky of Britain today and you see the borders around people's farms, it's orchard borders.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and it is the
Mm.
lineage of the food forests that were planted when people first got there.
Yes.
And by the way, the animals followed the people migrating because of their controlled burns. And
Yeah,
they were a
and
keystone species. A keystone species,
yeah, explain
is-
what that is.
that is a species that contributes to the ecosystem in such a way that if that species was to die off, it would alter the ecosystem negatively.
Mhm.
So think about the bee. The bee, the honeybee, is a keystone species. If we have no honeybee, we're not going to eat and we're going to die. And likewise, ancient humans and or later after Native Americans also were living the same way, mind you, for
Yeah.
thousands of years after they were control burning the forest floor. Migrations of buffalo were following the migrations of the Native Americans. The way that they planted their crops was at the bottom of watersheds. They lived alongside rather than on top of the earth. They lived inside of nature rather than conquering nature. That is a keystone species. It is archaeologically proven that during the great migrations of humanity, we were living the same way. So to say we're more advanced now in the modern age is your ancestors are rolling in their grave.
Yeah.
You say that. It's a huge disrespect to all of our ancestors.
Right.
There was no caveman that was just mumbling and living in wool. The people were in caves because it was the ice age and because that's where they could stay warm with fire. But before the ice age was 100,000 years. We survived the ice
We
age.
survived.
Our ancestors survived the ice age by going to caves in Spain and near the equator where the
Mhm.
temperature was more mild.
Yeah.
And they covered their bodies in red ochre, which all around the world, by the way, not just in Spain, all around the world, people covered their bodies with a sunscreen to protect themselves from the harmful radiation during the ice age. They were not dumb. They were very intelligent. And that same thing they were covering their bodies with was the same thing they were leaving their handprints on the caves with, saying we were here, you know?
So, yeah, Sudan actually has more pyramids than Egypt. So,
That's ancient
Kush.
Kush.
Yeah.
It's the word is like Kumet. Yeah, Kumet.
Umat. Yeah, meaning black. I don't remember. Chat GPT it. Okay, so Sean is asking about Lemuria and Atlantis. So going back to Sir Francis Bacon, there is quite a lot that he has to say about Lemuria. And he lived in the 1500s. And he didn't finish the book, but he began the book. And you can see it, like, I'm pretty sure you can get the PDF online. But Sir Francis Bacon also wrote about the New Atlantis. The New Atlantis was his vision of America. And this has been an experimental country. 138 referring to the dimensions in the building connection to what's known as the Phoenix phenomenon. Oh, okay. Jody, I just need to have you in my pocket. That's what I told him. That's what I told him a long time ago. I'm like, I need your brain. I just need you to be in my back pocket. Yeah, I mean, he's got so much. She said, I just wouldn't stop bugging Jen. This is your element. It is. It is totally his element. He's a great teacher and he knows he is very if he reads something, he retains it. I have to read something over and over and over again before I retain it. Unless I'm looking at a chart. If I look at a chart, I will for some reason I can look at a chart and I can memorize those degrees and they become patterns in my brain. Fire says, interesting you mentioned that, Jody. I actually have red and yellow ochre powder for painting in a ceremony. Oh, Fire, she,
I literally
Fire, Jody is all about that. So, what his studies have led him to understand is that we were not, as a people, we were not primitive as they would say it. We do rise and we fall.
I would that
Hmm.
has we have been much higher than we are today.
Yeah, they're not able to hear you. I don't think that y'all can hear him. He is a great teacher, Shauna.
Sorry,
I'm telling you.
I'm saving
Yes.
pillar. But I think humanity rises and falls, right? So, we are high and then we're low, kind of like you see in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. When he travels through the universe, he sees humanity at different points in different places in the universe. Some are really high, some are really primitive.
Right.
And I think it's a cycle. And that's what ancient
I
humans
think
have
it
been
is
trying to tell
too.
us. We have golden ages, bronze ages, dark ages. And I think right now we're actually coming out of one of our darkest ages.
Oh, thank you, witchy
I mean,
mama.
I will say medieval medieval Britain, they didn't have bathrooms. Do you want to know where they used the bathrooms in their castles
Where?
and in their halls?
Where?
Under the staircase.
Under the staircase?
It smelled like pee. It would have smelled like pee in there.
Uh.
And do you want to know if you broke the law to the king, one of your punishments, what it could have been? It wasn't just chopping off your head. You'd be drawn and quartered. You would be hooked up to ropes to two different horses and they would walk away from you.
Oh God.
And there were also machines they
Oh my
created that they would crank and your limbs would be ripped off of your body. Do you think that that is a golden age? No, we're coming out of a dark age.
Oh.
You know,
Some people think that we are going into a dark age, but you think we're coming out of it.
I think we're coming out of a dark age. I have studied too much.
Okay.
And I have read too much. And, right now I can go to the sink and I can get drinking water. And I know that that's not the same for everybody else, but for a huge part of the world, it is. And that has not been the case for a long time. We definitely slipped into a very dark age.
Yeah.
And we're coming out of a very dark age. And I do have hope. I don't think this is a golden age whatsoever, but I think we're on our way to one.
We are just doomed to repeat it's the same cycles. We're going to go through the same thing. And we do have cycles with the earth,
Yeah, all in a big room. You're talking about a bathhouse. So
Yeah.
honestly, this was kind of a vibe. Like if you were in ancient sorry, but I would love to be in an ancient Roman like bathhouse because they were very clean. And the waters would be like hot and everyone would gather there. And it wasn't only Rome. They did this in Korea for thousands of years. They did it in China and Japan. You can still go to them in China and Japan. You can still go to them in Rome and you can see them. But bathing together is one thing, but the other thing, people would just throw that's why 2/3 of Europe died during the Black Plague. And it was because the rats that were coming from trade from the Mediterranean, but those rats were populating because of the way that people dispose of their waste. They would throw their waste out of the window with buckets.
Yeah.
Just on the street. Just poop all over the street.
So we think that Astrea, the constellation of Virgo, is all about the different cycles, the ages of, especially the golden age, because she is depicted as the one who would come back with the golden age that is to come. And yeah, the Aquarian age, I want us to really have a come to Jesus meeting about this because the Aquarian age is there is going to be a lot of solar activity when the lunar nodes come into the north node and the south node with this Aquarian Leo axis. I feel like that this nodal axis is going to really usher in more of Aquarian and Leo energy that is going to be about we the people. It is going to be about fertility, and it is definitely going to be a lot about the cycles with the sun, with our sun. And the sun has always been depicted as a god, as the god Ra. Ra is the sun god. And that is what I foresee for our future is we are going to be humbled for sure by the sun, by the radiation. Like California gonna pop off the map. I mean, I laugh about it, but Lady Freedom, Trisha, um, I laugh about it, but I mean, it's this. Okay, so when we have massive solar flares, like right now, the sun, my morning news, the first thing that I look at is the earthquakes in the sun. I've done that for over a decade, every day. Okay, that's my morning news. I look at the sun, look at the earthquakes because they're coming together. So anytime we have a lot of activity with our sun, we're going to have a lot of activity with the tectonic plates. It is going to magnetize the rocks. The sun, when our solar radiation brings sickness, but it also brings a lot of energy with the rocks and the tectonic plates. So I do, girl. I look at that's my morning news. Like I'm such a geek. Hey, Bo, good to see you, babe. Rahu, yeah. Ra is so, I did a video about Israel, and is standing for Isis. Ra is the sun god, and El is the Elohim. So it's three beings into one. The Son, the Father, the Holy Spirit, that is the three. Israel. Israel isn't a place, it isn't a destination, it is the people. It is the light bringers as well. And that fits perfectly with this narrative and the mythology of the morning star, because she's not just the morning star. Venus is also the evening star. She is about dawn and rising to a new day. Holy trifecta. Yeah, I know what you were saying, Rahu, with Vedic. Holy moly, with my Aquarius sun ascending and Leo moon, I might be informed for a while. I think so. Girl, we should be looking at you. We should definitely be looking at you. I don't know if you're able to join us for these lives that we do that are members only, where you bring your birth chart and we talk about it. But man, we need to be looking at that. It's always 3. It's always in 3. That's why when I heard in my mind's eye, my birthday is, and it was all 3s, I was like, I'm so goofy. And I should have known that. Like, I should have known that that would be the birthday, the birth time, and everything. But because I feel like it is a template. I look at it as a template. It's definitely uh, the chart. If you wanted to pull it, if any of you guys would want to pull it, it's a template for me. And it's a March 3rd, 0003 at 3:33 a.m. It's wild. It's a wild chart. And it's my template for the I can't, what is outer, it's out of this world type of chart. Yeah, I did finally share it. I didn't want to. I still really don't want to. I want to hold it for me, but you know, sharing is caring. So it's my template. Sebastian's case got a lot of threes going on there for sure. What do you mean, Bo? Enlighten me of the threes. Enlighten me, honey. But anyway, guys, we've been on here for 2 hours and I just wanted to, anything else you want to add? So I think we are going to call it a night, guys. We are like I said, we're 2 hours in, and if you didn't catch it, man, go back and listen to the live about Venus and all the different archetypes, all the different names, and know that Venus, it is about love. Venus is about love, but it is a love of money. It is a love of possessions. She is possessive and she can take you down through there. She can humble you. It is definitely a journey. It is definitely, yeah, come over here and tell them. Yeah, come over here and tell them. Tell them how you want to conclude this.
I don't know. I mean, I think if we're going to wrap up what we talked about Venus today,
Yeah,
we can't just say Venus is a love of possessions or a
right.
love of money. Maybe Venus starts out that way.
Okay. Or maybe she
Venus-
just starts out being humbled and she can
No.
just never be.
Venus
she
starts
can never,
out with the.
I'm talking
think
about people's
Gilgamesh.
charts. I'm thinking of people's charts, babe.
I'm thinking of the mythology. Did you want that or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Mythologically speaking, it starts out with the love of possessions. It starts out with the love of money. But this is a story, right? If you're going to look at mythology, you're going to look at the story. The story is you start out with that. You actually start out as a tyrant. You start out as too ambitious for your own good. And then you're taken down through there. And then you're humbled. And then now it's not a love of possessions. Now it's not a love of money. Now you're on the other end of that, where you've experienced not having possessions. You've experienced not having money. Now it's about justice. Venus is so much more than just Taurus energy. It's also Libra energy. I'm a Libra.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so much more than just love of outer beauty.
She can be stubborn.
She can also be right.
She can be stubborn. She can not want to teach when she should really be teaching.
Sometimes when she teaches, no one listens.
Oh my gosh, guys. I love you so much. I just love you guys. And yeah, stubborn and right. Yes. Yes. Libra and Taurus, they can be stubborn, but they're mostly right. They're mostly right. Oh my gosh. But
Being hated as much as it wants.
Shauna says, I'm a Libra moon, Jody. Harmonious. Your mother would have been harmonious and wanted balance. So yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much. And my son, he has been having me over at his house every week. And I'm sure that tonight, or sometimes he's like, oh my gosh, really?
No, I'm not.
I know you're not. Don't lie, Jody. But we do. We have a great time. And I am really thrilled that he is coming to the platform to help me express the things that we talk about all the time. And we have been for years. We talk about, we go into deep discussions. and we have philosophical discussions, deep, just philosophical, philophosphorus. We have philosophical discussions, and these discussions, I feel like when I bring them with, to you guys, we can all discuss and we can open up our brains, open up our minds, open up discussion about what we all can come to the table with what we have learned, and maybe open our minds of something more, something greater, you know? Um, oh, you do need to get back to Tennessee. Trisha, you do. You do. And now the pond is up, and so it's going to be much greater. It's going to be prettier. Oh, thank you too, babe. Thank you. Thank everybody. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. And, really appreciate you guys and appreciate your support. Y'all have no idea how much I appreciate your support. I really love you guys. Thank you so much. And peace out.